This is our front door to our set. And so this was an old terrace house that we found in North Adelaide that we had to sort of replicate and build the inside of. So we had to match this door, but we've essentially been able to do whatever we like with this interior. Everything in the set's kind of chosen because it has a kind of presence, not just because it's what she would buy. And we've also really tried hard to make this a like kind of storybook feeling in this house. Because it's about this storybook and the whole aesthetic of the film, that was the buzzword, basically. So everything had to have that almost bordering on theatrical, without being too theatrical, so that it doesn't take people out of the film. So I'll take you through. So we've got a grey and blue and a really restricted colour palette, using quite a lot of dark trims, as you can see, and hints of black. And this was a big decision, kind of going with these kind of dark trims in the house, which lends a lot of drama. And we ummed and ahed about doing that, but I think it's really paid off because it kind of just gives it a dynamic quality. And a slightly more unusual quality. People don't tend to do that as much in real life, but I think it sort of works cinematically. We ended up having to stain every piece of furniture dark because we decided that light browns were a no. So that was fairly painstaking because nothing we bought was the right colour. So we either painted the furniture or stained it. Again, kind of tying into this storybook quality of not just kind of character based, it's also chosen because it's got a storybook quality to it. So the floorboards were a big deal. They took 3 weeks to do, basically, because we did floorboards in the whole house, and these have been painted. So they were brand new pine boards that have been gone through a process of 3 different processes to make them look like this. They've also been aged by the crew quite a lot, which is kind of works quite well. I'm happy we did do the floors because almost every shot in the film we see the floors. The actual house itself is Victorian, I think, the exterior. We had to kind of go this big too because the exterior is quite huge. So we couldn't cheat too much. And it also helps for the crew to be able to move around in here. We've got nothing outside these windows, as you can see. We spent the whole film avoiding those. So we had to film them on angles because we couldn't afford to do anything out there. We designed this kitchen with a specific shot in mind, and we wanted this opening frame, quite a symmetrical frame with the mother and the son sitting opposite each other. And I had this idea of putting a fireplace in between them, sort of as a background. Which kind of I think works quite well and has it sort of solidified this space because kitchens can often look a bit fake and a bit it's hard to make them feel solid, and that was one of the things that we felt would do that. The stairwell became quite a big deal in pre-production about whether we needed to build a 2-story set or not. At one stage we thought we couldn't afford it and we would have to split the set and have them come up the stairs and go around a corner and then cut to another set. But instead we've done a little bit of that, but we've actually created this whole second floor because they wanted to run up and down the stairs, and that was quite important for Jen and Radek. So if you come up here, you can see that we've built a hallway down there with doors that go into nothing. There. We've got Sam's bedroom in here. This was quite a big deal, this space, in terms of set dressing, and we decided he's really into bugs. So we had these sort of cockroaches and things which kind of foreshadow the mother's hallucinations later on in the film. We deliberately went quite retro with it, and with the whole film generally. That was a kind of, again, one of those stylisation decisions that felt right. Yeah, Jen always wanted a film that had a really specific look and a heightened feeling. But, you know, people do buy old stuff like that from retro shops, and so we're trying to keep it within the realms of believability still, but have an excuse to have furniture with character and all that. And then this cupboard was a big deal too, because we put this detail on here to give it a bit more sort of animation, make it feel a bit more present in the room. So Essie's room, this had to be quite a big room, and we kind of freaked out a little bit about how much we'd need to put in it. because the problem is always you build a bigger space and you've got to fill it with something, and the tight budget we were on, we worried about that. But in a way, we went quite sparse with it anyway, and that, we felt like that sort of suited the film. We decided we wanted to go with the wallpaper just to, again, give this space a living quality, but not... We decided painted wallpaper that had been there for a long time and has been painted over, so it wasn't so obvious. We wanted a lot of black and really dark darks in the film. Other colours we'd restricted to basically blues, greys, and the odd bit of maroon or kind of burgundy, and the odd bit of sort of a tealy green, and those that scheme came from looking at a lot of storybook illustrations and Grimm's fairy tales and different kinds of story illustrations. So that was our main reference point, and we wanted to create a film that kind of felt black and white but isn't. But it was very difficult to do that, especially on a low budget, because you need a lot of resources to do that, because you've basically, it limits all your choices in the shops. Everything's got to be painted and changed, and nothing's ever the right colour. So to try to do that when you've got on a low budget's not easy.